are now live. Let me check YouTube because that's where we go.
Mhm. Not yet on YouTube, but I see someone in the chat already asking.
Okay, I think YouTube will start streaming it. Yep, we are live. Awesome. Okay, all right, everyone. Welcome back to another great live session. I think the last we did was on a weekend, on a Saturday when everyone was enjoying, but we thought, okay, we had to do it. The Rocket Week saga just doesn't seem to end, and this time it's a long time friend. We known each other for a long time, and a great product builder, a great human being, very soft, very calm and has built a great product itself. It's amazing. It's called Remention. So let's welcome Ohans on the session today. Ohans, my man, thank you so much for doing this session, taking out a precious time in which you're building this product and doing this for all the Rocketeers. We appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. Absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Ohans has been amazing since for the start, very cooperative, amazing person. Ohans, let's hear from you. I mean, how did you get started with SaaS design? Design is a big
Yeah,
strength of Ohans as well. Design, SaaS, product. So where did all start? Where did you kind of get into this
yeah,
world?
yeah. That's a good question. So I've been doing this or writing software professionally for over a decade now. But I started my career as a UI UX designer. So you can sort of see that in every product I build. It
Yeah,
has to
everyone
work.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it has to work, but it has to functionally look good as well. So I think that's such a big part of software, in getting your software to do what you want it to do. Um, Also, in a day where I think the bar to write in software is probably lower now with AI, I think function and form becomes even more important. So that's obviously a priority for me as well. So about a decade ago, started to write code, um, started to work professionally, and all of that just has led me right here to mention. Yeah.
Awesome. And I ask this, to every SaaS founder who joins in because we keep talking to SaaS founders. We always would love to know where the inspiration for the name came in for Remention. It's very
Uh,
curious.
it's actually a good question. So naming has not been my strength when it comes to product naming. I always come up with some weird names. Then I talk to my co-founder and my friends, and they're like, "That name is horrible," and they help me come up with a better name. So I think when I started, built the first prototype for Remention, I called it something like Agent Six or Agent some yeah, Agent 6 to 9, Agent 9, something. It was ridiculous. I thought it was a brilliant name. My co-founder and friends thought it was silly. So somehow they helped come up with Remention, which I think sounds a lot nicer for sure.
Yeah. And even when you think about it, the product, right?
Mhm.
It defines what the product does in one
Correct.
word. Like it
Correct.
helps
Correct.
you get like mention and
Correct.
re-mention how many times you have been mentioned on the
Correct.
social media. Awesome. And I think how where are you based on? Everyone is very curious about that.
Yeah, for some reason, like everyone seems to be curious about where I'm based. Anyway, I'm based right now. I live in Berlin, Germany, so I work out of Germany. I've been here for the past 6 years, so you can sort of call it home at this point. There's a good chance, while building the product, I do. I don't know, depending on how the wave moves, I could move to the US if that's where we need to be to make this a
Yeah.
success. But right now, Berlin is home, Germany.
Awesome. Awesome. What do you say? Guten Tag, right? That's what you
Yeah,
say.
Guten Tag. Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Awesome. Let's now once let's talk about Remention.
Hmm.
And where did the idea come from for beginning Remention? What was the trigger point that okay, I think I've been Was it like I wasn't getting enough reads? I mean, or if my product was being mentioned on social, I wasn't aware about it and I missed that opportunity?
Yeah.
Or was it like I wasn't able to find good influencers who were talking about certain
Yeah.
kind of topic?
Yeah.
So if you can let us know that, and then we would get into the product which people are very interested about.
Yeah. So for me, it was slightly different. Um, so for me, it was slightly different. So it wasn't like I was a big brand and I was trying to find people talking about me. It was
Yeah,
slightly the opposite. It was more, I built something, I launched it, and socials was just hard. It was hard to put my product out there. But I knew people needed it. I knew people were talking about it, right? People were talking about a problem, same problem space. So what I did after I built this product was I started to think, well, there's got to be a way that I can leverage. And that was around the time where AI and AI agents were starting to become a thing. So I thought there's got to be a way where I can leverage AI to put my product out there. So I worked on something of a small MVP um, to see if that was going to really work, and that's what led to Remension.
got it. Yeah, I think it's a good starting point. Even yesterday, I mean, on Saturday, we had a chat with other D partner, which is called Trace, and they mentioned that they got the opportunity to build that product because they were an agency and they had some trouble doing
Mm,
some things.
yep,
So there's always something which triggers them and kind of goes for let's do it, and then they get into it. So that's
correct.
amazing. For
Yep.
everyone, some trivia about Remention. Remention already went to Product Hunt. They have been number two product of the day, and even Remention got good number of customers right now. So they're already running and kicking. They're already on through the roof, and they are here at Rocket Hub to get new customers, more feedback about the product, more suggestions on what they can build in Remention, because that's the boost they want. That's the feedback they want from you guys who are going to test the product and get more customers from it. So if you think that you're doing good with Remention, always go and leave a good review on the Rocket Up product deal page, and even G2 Captura, wherever Hans put it together. So it gets appreciated from them. Hans, awesome. Thank you so much for telling us your why. Let's get into the product. Let's show everyone what this magic is about.
Brilliant. Let me share my screen.
Yep. So there are people saying I got a haircut, and someone is saying where my beard went. Hey guys, I wanted to match what how Juan looks like right now, so that's why I got this done, and now we look also almost the same.
Fair enough. So what I'll do is show
Yeah,
around a live account, and
yeah,
then if there are questions, I can start from scratch. Right, go through the whole onboarding and also show that
awesome. Let's
depending.
do this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
So
perfect.
let me start with a full account. When you come on here, you get some analytics and on your mentions and replies and how that's going. That's going to be the first thing you see, and then whatever your product is, you're going to see right here. The part that you probably are, or most people spend most of the time on, is the actual mentions, right? Which we fetch. So when you come on here, all the platforms that we support, you'll see all your mentions right here. So you can see this is Facebook, that is Threads. Sometimes, if we're still fetching information about the mentions, you're going to see this. There's no cause for alarm. It means we're just working on the background. So now, when you come in here, there's multiple things you can do. Let's start from manual to automated. So if I start with manual, the first thing I do is say, okay, I see this person's talking about my company. What I've done here is just set this up to a travel company called Omeo, right? When you click in this, automatically our AI is going to give you a reply based on my previous setting. I'd set my tone to neutral in this case. Um, for some reason, if you think you want to tweak this a little bit more, you can always go to the chat pane, and literally type with the AI like you would in something like ChatGPT, make it in French or any sort of message you want to really, right? I will discard this, but if you want to use it, I'll just click this. For now, discard. The multiple preset tones. I appreciate it. There's multiple preset tones that you can use here. But what we found out is all of our customers want to set custom tones to suit their brand, right? There's a few ways you can do this on Remention. The first thing you can do is create your own style. So what you want to do here is add some blog, right? If I do, let me see if I can find any blog here. So if you just find the URL and you add it here, what we will do is fetch that content and then create a style based off of it here. And then next time you come on here, you can just use that custom style. I was trying to use Medium, but Medium is out. I was trying to find one of my blogs, but for some reason, Medium is not working for me. There goes my live demo. Most of my blogs on Medium, but if anyone wants to see what that looks like, just send any blog article and I can do a demo for that. Once that creates your your custom tone, you can always use that. But that's not all as well. You can say set a global instruction for the AI to also work with. So if I say in my case, I want all my responses always reply in French. I don't know why French is what I'm using as an example, but this can be anything, right? So what's going to happen is with every mention, that is going to be your default, right? It's going to override whatever settings we've got internally, and you will always get this reply in French. And this could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be French. It could be any custom instruction. So if I go on another post, obviously that is preserved, and I've got my reply. Now, there's two things you can do from here. Well, you can go ahead and check out the post. That's all right. You can copy this reply and go paste it manually yourself. You can regenerate the reply if you're not happy with it, or you can go crazy with a chat. And you can actually post the reply directly with your connected accounts. I have a few accounts here, but I'm not going to post this. And if you click this, you're going to post this. All right. Just before I come back to the other channels, I'm just going to show you how the account connection works. So if you go to your settings when you're on board, you will add whatever website you want in here. We'll pull a description. Actually, I'm going to show the onboarding flow to show you how this comes in. But what we want to show here is the integrations. You can come on here and connect multiple different accounts, right? So I've got questions about there are limits to how many accounts you can connect. The answer is no. You can connect as many as you want.
Wow.
Okay. So that's for mentions. Everything I've shown for ready, that obviously is the case for everything else, whether that's Blue Sky or that's X, right? There's also some very nifty features that you might not notice at first glance. Is when you're here as well, as opposed to like going to Blue Sky, you're going to like Fate or X to see the post itself. You can always hover to get a feel for what the post really looks like before you interact. If for some reason you want to see the actual post as opposed to our representation within Remention. We're also going to be adding the support for this for all other channels, right? So you have this for X today, we have that for Blue Sky. We're working to add this for all of them. I think we've got it for Facebook. Sometimes the groups are private, so we're unable to show it because we don't have private accesses, but we've got it for all of them. And of course, you can do everything else that I just showed on here. There's something you will notice when you came on here is you've got this rating. Before I go on to the other features, this is when I will then go to like an onboarding flow and show you how we get there. Sounds good?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, so I've got local instance here. So let's say I want to sign up. I'll say my name is Rocket Hub Karen. I'm just going to put a test email here. This is no real account, so don't worry. This is all safe. You're not going to be able to log in with it. It's fine. So once you sign up, obviously, the onboarding flow starts off with you creating a project, right? When I start, I'll say my brand name for now is Rocket Hub, and here's my website. It'll be rockethub.com, right? Once I continue, what we will do is go visit your website, pull out the information about your website, and put that in here as a description. What I like to tell people is AI is great, but you know your business more than AI does typically. So go ahead and edit this description to your heart's content. Make sure you know it fully signifies what you're doing as a business. I'll just remove this and say lifetime deals is a keyword that I want to monitor for, and I'm going to create the project.
Awesome.
Now, once you create a project, we automatically bring you here. What's happening right now is for all these platforms, we're working hard in the background. So because we can't see into the future, what we do right now, as soon as you sign in, is we then look back from that moment to the past about 30 days and try to gather
Mhm.
reasonable keywords for your mentions. Now,
Awesome.
that is what leads you to the settings, which is why I've got this information. So the description here is the description you entered before. Your keyword is here, and you've got all that information represented here. All right. Now I'll go
Got it.
back to my mentions, and you can see they're starting to come in through. So I can see this was about 2 hours ago. Great tool for your business, lifetime deals, or blah blah blah. I can start to interact here. Now, if you take a look at the bottom, this is where I was trying to get to. We automatically rate we
Rated.
rate each mention based off of your business information. In this case, Rocket Hub being an LTD provider. Our AI agents think this is a brilliant match based on keyword, based on project settings. We think this is a match. But sometimes you can disagree, right? So these are all great matches, are all rated high. There's always a way, you can always filter this and say, I want to see the high, I want to see the mediums, I want to see the latest, blah, 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 right? Standard stuff. What I really want to get to is you can decide what is high and what is low for you. A classic example that I use personally as well was like when I was targeting, say, a competitor like MailChimp. I really didn't care about everything people were talking about MailChimp. I really just cared about like negative feedback. So I could go on and talk and say, well, my product does better than MailChimp, right? So the way you'll do that is just go to the advanced settings. You're going to click the keyword, and then you can just tell the AI agents precisely what to focus on. So if I was, say, targeting MailChimp here, I'd just say I only care about, I care about bad reviews, right? Bloody hell. Bad reviews um, for MailChimp, for example, right? We also have these information here that sort of helps you understand what exactly these do. Um, so you can always get more information here. You can also do, I've had people ask, can I do and or? I think and or are great, but I think you can go further in this AI world where you can actually enter phrases that should be included or excluded. If you really want to use the and or, go ahead and do this. But I think for the most part, you can explain everything you need right here, pretty
Yeah.
much. But you can then
Mhm.
do include and exclude for actual keyword matching, which precisely works. If you're keen on what they do, there's information here that can help as well. Okay, so that explains how we go here. Um, how long have we got? Okay, we've got a few time. I want to go to automations because I think this is one of
Oh
our.
yeah, take every time you have, man. You have a lot of time, no worries.
Okay, I think this is one of our best features for sure.
Yeah.
Let me show.
Very unique. Yeah, people didn't find this. I mean, I read the comments. They said there was nothing like these automations.
Yeah. Um, why am I no longer able to share my screen?
You should be. We can see it.
It's it's the same. You can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Ah, okay. What do you see precisely?
I see automations, that tab, post to Slack, post to Discord.
Okay, I'll continue. Just let me know when you don't see it anymore, because I don't see anything here that tells me you can see it. So
Yeah.
a lot of businesses sometimes don't want to always come back here. They want to get these automations posted directly to Slack, right? Um, so there's a very easy way to do that, and this is probably the one of the most basic examples. Once you come in here,
Yeah.
we give you we give you a rundown of all these does precisely. So in my case, what I'll do, this is an infinite canvas where you can go crazy. I'm going to show you some complicated examples, but let's start simple. What I'll do is say, if it's ready, and it's a high keyword for lifetime deals, I would have connected
I
my,
think if you started to do some activity, we couldn't see your screen now. I mean,
yeah,
we
that's
could
one,
see your screen, but it's a kind of it's
yeah,
yeah, it's freezed. Yeah.
yeah. I think there's something wrong with the screen share. Let me refresh. I hope that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can come back. Okay. Ohans will join back with us, but in the meanwhile, let's see what other questions we have. The onboarding process looks very intuitive. Yep, it is. They have invested a lot of time in making sure the onboarding is good.
Okay. Um, looks like I'm back.
Yep, you're
S
back. Yeah.
Brilliant. Before I go back to the automations, it's probably nice to also show you how this looks. So this is our Slack as an example, and you can see the post coming here. It's important to also mention, shout out to my co-founder. They don't just come in as like random text. You can see they're rightly formatted to the platform.
Yeah.
So you can see this is ready. You can see the relevance that I showed earlier, and you can always view the
Yeah.
post. Right.
Wow, it's very good. It's coming out very clean.
Correct. Then I'll go back to remention. Yeah, that worked now. So essentially, what powers that is an automation like this. The keyword comes in and I get notified, right? I would have connected my Slack at that point. Um, Actually, I can just show you the real thing. This is what is powering that at the moment is this automation right here. This comes in, this gets sent to the remention alert Slack channel. Okay. Now, let me show you a much more interesting automation. This is just one example of the things you can do, the complicated things you can do here. So I've got ready for most of our users is the biggest ROI. Um, when we started to do the LTD deal, I've had a lot of people talk about Facebook, so I'll be keen to also see how well Facebook works. But right now, the businesses, the users, Reddit brings the biggest ROI for most people.
Yeah.
A big problem is when you create a Ready account, you don't have karma because you've created a new business account. No, you can't post anything anywhere without getting flagged, right? So I can start off with a post trigger that automatically watches a certain subreddit. We have a few here that are friendly to beginners or to new, let me say, new accounts. Obviously, you can go ahead and put your own custom subreddit. That would also work, right? So this is a very simple case. You can go advanced as well, um, which I use further down the line after the first week. I can then say I want 50% of my posts to go on here, and I want another percentage to go on here. Right? These has to make up. It's got to be 100%, right? Um, Basic math, I would hope. What that
Yeah.
happens is once the post comes in, you don't want to reply in every post, right? So you have something of a moderator here that can then say, if it's not about XYZ, just ignore it, right? So that's what this is doing here, saying the post must be about politics, must not be about politics, love, sex, or romance. I really don't care about those. And then I have the actual AI agent that goes ahead and drafts a human comment. This agent has a few tools, or you can say tools is the word for it, but you can say, functions. For example, you can set the temperature, you can do the custom tones that I showed earlier. You can always set them here. And then it's got access to web search. I think this is important. You should always leave it on. You want to make sure the agent is factual in its replies. This is a more advanced feature. I'll come back to it later if we've got time. And
Yeah,
I'll also
sure.
come back to sources as well.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Obviously, you can go deep into this prompts and edit them to fit your use case. But we've worked on some custom templates, and these are pretty good. They work brilliantly. Now, once that happens, I then pass it through a humanizer that helps bypass AI detectors and make sure that the text comes out as close to human as possible. For
Wow.
most cases, I suggest you use manual. We will remove all emojis, remove needless punctuation. For some weird reason, people think if you've got a long dash, it's an AI text. So we sort of remove that sort of thing. We lowercase common abbreviations, a few nitbits. You can disable them, but I don't advise you do that. And then we've got
Yeah,
more automatic mode that just uses a pre-trained model to do this. And ultimately, you connect your account. So
got it.
what I'll do is show you how this works. So if I go here, I've got this one. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to wait until it goes live to see how it works. You can always try it here. So I'm just going to go ahead, select one of my accounts. And then right here, there is a test run, right? So I can do a test run. You can see these nodes are processing in near real time. You can expect once that is done, this one does, and that one does. So I can see the post output here. This person is talking about I'm XYZ. I need advice about this. The gatekeeper checks it, sees that it passes. The AI agent actually responds. We
Mhm.
pass that through here, and ultimately this will be posted. If you're doing a test run, obviously we don't post, but you'll
Yeah.
see precisely what would come out. So
Wow.
this is a kind of automated flow that you can build with such accounts. How many people? Well, I think I can show you an example of
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
let's
my
do it. Let's
one of
do it.
my
Yeah,
accounts.
yeah.
Don't don't look for me. But this account, well, I hope I don't get backlash from this. This account is 99% managed by this AI agent, or 95, and then I come on here for the human touch because I personally think a human in the loop system is great for AI. I don't think you should just let AI run the whole thing. I think it's also great that sometimes you can step in as a human. I think that's what brings
Mhm.
balance, in my opinion. So if you take a look at this account, um, this account started from zero. We're at almost 5K. This was within a few 1 to 3 weeks or thereabout, and it's got insane achievements. You've got comments that received over 1,000 upvotes. Um, in some of the channels or subreddits rather, where there's my AI agent chats, it's actually helpful. People say, people comment and, it's got special flares because it's actually helpful, right? I do have to add, I also come on here once in a while because when people reply, there's a real human beings. I come on here as well and reply them, just to add that 10% human touch. That's my style. If you don't have to do it, but I think it works. I think it's helpful as well. So
Awesome.
this is just an example of the kind of automated flow that you can make with Remention. I'll go back to Remention one more time.
Awesome.
Um,
Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah.
Brilliant. I did talk about sources, so it is also possible to say you want the AI agent to not just reference the web, but reference your material, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially what sources is. I can go on and say, pull the information from this blog post and I want to reference it. So in my case, I have this blog post that I wrote for a company a while back. I can come back to Remention and say, paste that in this blog post. You can add multiple links. For the sake of this demo, I'm just going to stick to one.
Okay.
I'll give it a name and say Medium Omeo, for example. I can do a description, but I'm going to skip that. Once you do, we start to process this. What the processing looks like is essentially us going on, scraping that content, um, passing it into some friendly form, and then ultimately surfacing that in here. This is an actual live demo, so let's see. I'll come back to this, but at the moment, you can add as many as possible here. I also get asked about limits. Right now, we don't have limits. We think we might add them eventually, but right now we don't. So once this is done, you see the ready for agents note. So if I go on here, I see the post, I can click on it, and you can see what we fetch here is actually very clean. Not a lot of people are able to pass, well, let's not toot our own horn, but I think we do a brilliant job of taking your content, passing it to almost near precision. As you can see here, this is precisely the same content that was here on Medium with the images
Hmm.
as well, right?
Nice.
And this is not, this is live, right? So we pull that content in. What you can then do with this, for example, is in automations. And this was one that I had before. I can then reference the source right here, Medium Omeo. So every time this AI agent will look through that source to find relevant information, right? If I
Wow.
wanted to do that. Um, Obviously, there's things you can add new links, you can edit, you can actually chat with the source. And just to test that, it's actually retrieving information. This is probably a useless message to send, but you can chat with it, and then it's going to ask you, how can I help, right? And you can chat with it to figure out if it really worked. Of course, it did work, but if that's something you wanted to verify, that's something you could do. I think this is a good overview of Remention. There's a lot of really interesting things you can do here, and when you put it all together, um, it's quite unique in the sense of what you can achieve with it. I'll stop here because I think I've been rambling for a bit, and I'll, I'll take questions, I suppose.
Yeah. Can you also talk about smart search?
Oh yeah, true.
A bit. Yeah.
Um, we get asked a lot, like, what's the difference between mentions and smart search?
Yeah.
To be fair, you could argue they're quite similar, but there's a difference. The difference being that mentions are, they work in the background, right? The
Hmm.
agents are automatically searching and pulling them here. Smart search is a little more proactive, right? A lot of people have
Yeah.
asked us about Instagram. This is the one place where we support Instagram, so let's try it. Um, I can come on here and say reels or posts. I don't know what you call them on Instagram, reels
Yeah.
about
Reels.
email
Yeah.
marketing. What we will do then is pull up a quick search and try and find related posts to email marketing, and we put them on here. You can reply these similar to what I showed before, um, and that would work. So I've seen we've had customers who wanted to do this because they mostly were trying to find influencers talking about certain certain topics that was of interest to them. So this is the difference between smart search and mentions being, it's a little more proactive, and you can search in natural queries. I do have to add one thing where we want to be with this. This is more of a fast search. Eventually, we're going to turn this to a much more slower, agentic, sort of deep thinking search where you can surface, even deeper information. A good use
Awesome.
case that I've found is people doing something like post about looking for a piano teacher. We did have a customer or a user who was, they had a piano program and they were looking for people who were looking for, I don't know, who wanted piano teachers. So this is an example
Hmm.
where I can just surface these. This person is looking for recommendation. I can just surface these and just go ahead and, be a part of this conversation, right? I'm looking for local piano teacher. If this was my business, this is
Wow.
brilliant. I potentially have a lead here, right?
Yeah.
So this is smart search versus mentions. Smart search being natural queries and more
Yeah.
proactive.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, I think it's like you are going to the market for opportunities.
Right now,
While
yes.
in the mentions, like you are getting notified of an opportunity that
Yes.
comes up, and you
Yes.
didn't know about that. Got
Yes.
it. Awesome, awesome. I think this is just Ohan scratching the surface of what can be done with Remention. And yeah, I think amazing, amazing product. I think I've always said it. The product is great, and the use cases are tremendous. I mean, there are thousands of use cases of this. You just think about it. If you start a new business, this is where you come. You don't go to a you don't go to a Google agency or don't go to anywhere else. I mean, if you have to do outreach, you come here. If you have to do some, let's say, job hunting on LinkedIn, you come here. Let's say looking for X position, you come here and then you start searching for it, and you then do an outreach to that person or that HR that posted the opportunity and outreach. So I think this is amazing, and everyone watching this, their minds are blown. So let me start by a few questions which are mentioned in the chat, and then we will also take some questions which were mentioned inside the community, so people are aware about it, right? So I go one on one. That people are sometimes you get some funny comments as well because they're they're intrigued. Yeah, I'll start with this. Someone thought that you are from England because of your accent.
Yeah, but I'm not based. My a big part of my family lives in East London. So that's where that's from. But right now I'm based in Berlin.
Yeah. All right. Um, Perfect. Everyone can hear me, right? Properly?
I hear you.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Let's start with the questions. Um, Number one, I think this was when you were showing how to create the replies, right?
Hmm.
Inside the mentions. So they asked, how are credits consumed with such actions once the moment you do it? Can
Brilliant
you?
question. It's a good question. Um, I think we can definitely improve how we do this in terms of like showing you when a credit has been deducted. We're going to work on that. But right now, you have to think through like every AI action. So whether that's a reply or these, for example, the AI rating is essentially an AI credit. So these all deduct from the AI credit.
Okay, awesome. Um, Another question was, can I monitor only some specifically Facebook groups or like any of them?
It's a good question. Right now, we don't have specific. Um, the only channel where we support specific is Reddit. But if we have paid customers who request this, we will work on it. Typically, it takes us about 24 to 48 hours to onboard a new platform. There's a lot of testing that goes into it, more testing than engineering, to be honest. So if a lot of if you came in as a paid customer, for example, and you requested this, would have to like bump it up the roadmap and try and ship it as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Okay, someone says the onboarding process is very intuitive. Yeah, I agree with that question. With that
Thanks.
sentence, it looks intuitive. It's very welcoming.
Yeah, we're even planning to work in it a bit more to even make it more intuitive, as opposed to you. So we already do things like automatically suggest keywords, but the quality of the keywords, some people go ahead and change them, which is fine. But for most people, we found the distribution of the works is monitor your brand, your competitor, and then some industry term. So we're going to come up with a way where we can just signify or show you all of these, and then you can choose. So we're gonna work on it to make it even more intuitive in the coming weeks.
Awesome. Okay, Ogi has a question. Can I predefine repetitive standard answers?
That's a good question. Um, if it was an automation, yes, that would be as simple as you just doing that in here. If it was a manual reply, that would be you pasting it yourself or putting it in the. Come on, yeah. Oh, that will be you putting it in the reply instruction here.
Okay.
But if this is these seem like workarounds, we might be able to just create something in your settings where you just have these templates and you can always choose them. We could do that, but right now this is how you would do it.
Okay. Awesome. Master Blaster, which is Gabor, he asked a question. Only English language is supported?
Actually, no. Let's try something. What is travel in French? Travel in French.
Voyage. Voyage.
Voyage? How do you voyage? Ah, right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
sounds like
voyage.
English. So if I like, that's not a good word. We need something very different.
In
Different to
French?
English. Maybe not French. It could be
Okay.
Arabic. It could be anything.
Okay. I can say one thing. In French, there's one chocolate is called bonbon, which is very different
Okay, let's try
than
that.
English. Yeah.
Is this? Well, let me. Um,
Also, I know what sorry is called.
bonbon.
Sorry.
This is it?
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Okay,
1 second. Yeah, that's what it's called. Let me just confirm once again.
no, that's fine.
No,
Basically,
no, 1 second. That's
it's not.
that. Yeah, I know what sorry is called. Sorry is called Desole. Desole. Desole.
Ah, désolé. Yeah, that one I
Yeah,
know.
Desole. Sorry. Yeah,
So obviously this keyword doesn't really match Rocket Hub, but
yeah,
it's just an example right now. So if I do désolé, um,
yeah,
the point I'm trying to make is this keyword can be anything. It could be
yeah,
Arabic.
yeah,
We did have a customer who was actually requesting Arabic a while ago. By adding this now, as you can imagine, all of this is going to start to, work again in the background to try and fetch these mentions. But if we come back, give it a bit more time, they'll start to publish. Yeah, here you go. So now all I see is French because, well, désolé is French.
yeah,
Je suis désolé. Comment
yeah. I'm
redirais,
sorry.
yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what those
Yep.
mean, but there you go. So we will keep fetching in the background for that keyword. So, and this would work if it was Arabic or anything else. As long as we can find it, we're going to show it.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is amazing. Yeah, crazy. Okay, this is funny, and he's an amazing friend. He said, "I would like Owens to narrate my life story."
I've heard that before. Actually, it's not that crazy. I've heard people. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this mic, but I've heard that I've got soothing voice. I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate you. Thank
I
you.
told you. I told you this. I mean, awesome automations. Yeah. There's a question from Uli. There you go. I would just increase the time limit so you can see it for a long time on the screen. But yeah, this is the question.
Can I please define?
So which means he doesn't need to like regenerate again and again, but he just saved that reply, so he just sends it. So does it count as credits or it wouldn't count as the credits if he's used the same sentence, which he
I think
saved?
I might need to think about the use case a bit more because you've got to be careful with standard replies. Because once you pass, firstly, once I get the post, the AI still needs to pass that mention and say that it actually fits this manual reply. And then when he asserts that it does, then maybe at that point you don't need AI anymore. You can just pick the template. But you still need something to decide what to pick, right? And that thing needs to be intelligent. Otherwise, you just take in manual replies and posting them in the wrong places.
Yeah.
So there will still be some AI bits at the start, but maybe not the message itself, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But I'm sure we
Yeah, it
can.
does.
I can think through this and come up with something interesting.
Yep, it does. Awesome. Okay, here's a question from Naz. Naz is asking, are you using official APIs?
Yeah. So depending on the platform, obviously to actually do the one-click post, these are all official APIs. for the actual mentions, it depends on the platform. Some we have official, some we're using third party, some we also even use further third party to actually enrich the content. So it depends. We use whatever gets the job done, essentially.
Got it.
I think there was a follow up that says the reason is getting your account blocked. I
Yeah.
need to show you something that is a
Yeah.
very, very good. What's the best account to show you this on? So, for example, for the Reddit Karma thing that I showed,
Yeah.
Reddit is very strict. I think Facebook is as well, but Reddit is extremely strict. So, with the
Yep.
integrations, we don't just start off posting a million comments every day. So yeah, this is what it looks like. There's typically a 30-day warm-up period, at least for Reddit. That's what we do, where the number of posts that you can send through Remention grows increasingly. If you're used to email marketing, this is somewhat
Oh,
like the warm-up. We find that
yeah.
this reduces your chances of your account getting blocked significantly. What we want to do over the next week is to also support this for Facebook, which we don't right now.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, that's great. All right, let me get back. Someone says gatekeeper is a very clever function in the automations. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I agree.
There's a lot of interesting things you can. I don't know, must have shared my screen there, but there's a lot of it goes beyond just saying um not post note about XYZ. An actual
Yeah.
really good use case. I can show you
Yeah.
an actual production use case that I'm running. Um, would look something like I can say specifically for. Now let's go on here. Some subreddit have different rules for accounts or for posts. So I can just take that subreddit post and just put it on here. Because what typically happens is a person posts something, but it doesn't meet the subreddit rules. And after you've replied, it gets deleted. All right. So you can as well just save yourself the stress. I can put on the rule here, and the gatekeeper is just not going to stress. And I don't have to worry about even replying in the first place. So there's some really, really interesting use cases for this. It's more of it's a good stopgap.
Got it. Okay, that's amazing. Um, okay, let me question which. Yeah, I think we answered the question about languages. In which languages can sources be? Any limitations? I think sources can be any language, right? That's not a problem.
Yeah, sources as well. If you have a blog in another language, you can send it over. We can give it a try. But yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give a try from Gabor, who tested something out. And I think we would help him out find his mention on Reddit from the mention right now. But he posted about it. We'll come back to that. But Naz has some good questions. I'm just showing over here. Um, yeah, how can we have the alerts go rapid again directly to team members?
If your team uses Slack or Discord, you would use what I showed earlier. Um,
Mhm.
but if you mean another form of alert, you can also let me know what you mean. Maybe emails or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, this is what he posted as a use case of where he is.
To ladies. Right. I'm guessing Slack is probably not their tool of choice. Um, it depends on what tool you guys use internally. If you use Slack or Discord, that would be great. If also webhooks has been something that people have been asking us for, we actually have this being work done. Um, we're just maybe I can actually I don't know if I showed this earlier. Uh,
That has
that's
happened a
not
lot, people, the feature
that's
hasn't
no that's
hasn't
not
come out.
production by the way. And this is my production account, so we're good. But essentially, also in the automations, we have a webhook node where you can fire these two. Um, I can show how this works as well, but we should ship those within a few. We're just testing right now. It's pretty much done at this point. But if your team uses something else, you can let me know what the team uses, and we can see if we can support it. But right now, we've got Slack, we've got Discord, we've got webhooks.
Got it. So I think, Naz, I think if there's somewhere else you communicate with your team, get them to Discord if you can, because Discord is pretty easy. I know it's a lot of gaming, crypto product thing over there. The team might get confused, but I think if there's a way, you can suggest something like, what's going on with your team, and if there's any source where it's possible. But I think Facebook Messenger is tough because it might be I think it might be very risky over there sending out alerts um, due to Facebook and Meta. But I think right now the sources are fine. Let's see what comes up in the future for sending out alerts. But I think right now for it looks good. Um, okay, he says the team is not so technical. Okay, I should
Email.
clarify we don't use Slack in the clinic, non-technical team, so email would be ideal. Yeah,
Yeah. The thing that we've struggled with email is whether they should be real time or not. Um, most people who've requested email, they want something like a summary at the end of the day. You have XYZ mentions, go look at them, but not real time. Pop in emails every single time. But if that's something that would help your team, we could look into that as well and support it. But this is what I was
yeah,
trying to show before, where we already have this webhook node. We're just testing this out. It's not yet live. We're testing this, and it should be. Yes, you can do whatever with a webhook. Yes.
yeah, correct. So Naz, I think this is your solution is there. You guys already have Babbly, third-party tools to send out email alerts, so this will be kind of a bridge for you to use the webhooks and send these alerts if your team doesn't use Slack, Discord, or other platforms to kind of communicate. Awesome. That's a good thing you did over there. Uh, 1 second. Okay, there's now we once we have a use case from our Rocketeer called Gabor.
Hmm.
That's what he posted that he tried to find this thing. Once again, it's showing on the stream.
Hmm.
It's yeah, there you go. Tested a hot sauce brand name Gombay Chili. I think Gombay Chili is it Hungarian? Let me check. I don't know which language. Yeah, it's Hungarian. It's Hungarian. Um, and he says, if you can find them right now, it says we are on Reddit mentioned, but we weren't able to find it on the Reddit using the term Gombachoi.
Hmm. Um, different questions. So the first question would be, what when was this mentioned? So if you just added the account or the keyword, like I said, we'll try and look back 30 days, but we're not going to
Yeah,
fetch every single mention for that 30 days. I think we're going to limit it to 100. And then moving forward, we start to fetch new ones. So it is possible that because you just added the
yeah,
keyword,
yeah,
it was lost in that 30-day time span.
yeah,
But I would say give it a try, wait, see tomorrow the subsequent mentions. And if you have any problems, just let me know.
yeah. Awesome. Good. Yeah. So I think Gabor, you should do this. Wait for it to kind of do its job, and then report back. And I think team is pretty open. But I think that if your brand is mentioned, it would find it. Just give us time to kind of find you guys. um, all right. So Joe says, be careful with LinkedIn. They love to block, suspend, and destroy, which is correct.
Yeah.
They're not. So I think I would always say with LinkedIn, it's very, very tricky. Not everyone could kind of do it properly. So I know it's LinkedIn's problem. It's their API is very strict.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Okay, Naz, 1 second. I know you already
I
mentioned,
should
but
add
couldn't
to
find
that
it.
that
Yeah,
don't forget that like this tool is supposed to help you, but you're still in control, right?
yeah,
If you don't want to use automations for LinkedIn, we will still get you the mentions. You can still go on there and do the manual replies, right? Or go on and do the one-click post yourself. So I just like to say this doesn't just work like a madman in the background without you being in control. You're in control. You can say for LinkedIn, don't do automations. I will come on here myself. Or you can pipe them to Slack as soon as something important comes in Slack. You go ahead and reply to that. So you're still in control. I mean, just want to add that.
Yeah, makes sense. Uh, okay. Okay, we have Chari with us. So Chari asked the question. I'm keen on a daily digest, just one email a day, maybe at 9 a.m. That it should come every single day in his inbox.
Yeah, I like this on the roadmap because I wanted to do this because I wanted this myself. I'm busy. I get the Slack, but I just don't want to use Slack as well. So this is very high on the roadmap. I'm going to let you know once we ship it. I'll precisely text you.
Awesome, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think yeah, Hungarian. Yeah, yeah, we know about you. The language is Hungarian, and so yeah, I think that was recommended that you add the keywords. It will be tracked within a few days. You can then go and see the reports or go again and try finding it. You would Yeah, you would find your brand over there. Perfect. I think till now we are good. Once you answered every question, precise and to the point, which is amazing. Now we'll wait for the next set of questions to come in. In the meanwhile, can you tell people like what are the new sources, the new platforms, social platforms you're going to add? I know since the launch began, you might have received a lot of requests for other social platforms. So, which are those that you're going to add, let's say, in the next 5 months? I'm giving you a
Yeah,
big, good window to
yeah,
kind of think about that, but what is your
yeah.
thing?
If you give a long timeline and you say something like 5 months, it will be Instagram, TikTok without multiple requests for these. YouTube, for example. But if you
Mhm.
talk in the short term, is what we're prioritizing based off of actual paying customers, right? So if a paying customer comes to us and say, Instagram is critical for my operations, we're going to support that within 48, 72 hours, right? Like I showed earlier, we already support this for smart search. It's a question of just supporting it in the core mentions.
Yeah,
But over a long period, we will be supporting all of these. News and forums is something we've heard as well for a lot of B2B tech companies.
yeah,
Also hacker news. But
hacker
again,
news.
we're prioritizing based off of like paid customer requests. But in the
Oh
long
wow.
term, we will get to all of this.
Got it. And someone mentioned about TikTok as well. I don't know
Yeah.
how easy TikTok is.
To be completely honest, I haven't looked at TikTok. Um, so I don't know off the top of my head, but I know Instagram. Well, actually, wait. Smart search. Do we have? Actually, we have TikTok support here. 1 minute. I believe we do. Yes, we support TikTok already for smart search.
Oh, that's nice.
We
That's
just
I
need
think
to,
something we need to
yeah, we just
mention.
need to enable this. We need to work a bit more to enable this in the core mentions. TikTok's about, I don't know, do people talk about email marketing on TikTok? Not quite sure. Um, yeah, we already support something here. Obviously, this can be recharged. We can pull in the actual TikTok video in here, blah blah blah. So it's not the best of support, but we already have some integration.
But you already have the API first level connection
Correct,
with them.
correct. Yeah,
Got it. Okay, I'm just looking for like more good questions. Oh, there's a good one. I mean, if you want to take it because it was asked and I read it, it's amazing. I'll
okay.
just read out to everyone. It says, how does remention distinguish intent within conversations about trending topics? For example, if I'm marketing for an immigration firm within countries that immigration is a hot topic in, how does remention analyze and recognize when to engage and when not? Brilliant question. And I think you
Yeah,
even wrote a good answer for it.
yeah, I did. I think I remember that one. It will be what I've shown before. No, actually here. Um, you'd want to go to the settings, find that keyword, and then go into details precisely. So I think there's a good one here. Um, so for example, if Rocket Hub, you were doing Rocket Hub, but for some reason someone launched a rocket in a hub in Japan and you don't care about it, this is where you would do that. So if you want to remove trending topics or avoid saying sentiments, this is where I would come and say exclude Japan, right? That way we don't even bother. Um, so this is how you would do it, and then include just the opposite.
Wow,
Yeah.
pretty great. Yeah, I think awesome. Okay, there was another one question which was about the geolocations. I think that will come. One second, I'll just ask this question so everyone knows.
Mhm.
Can I restrict monitoring posts by location, for example, to show only posts from Australia, like the
Right now,
geo?
no. That's harder than it sounds to do for all the different platforms, also with like restrictions and on personal private data. Um,
Yeah.
but once we figure out something that works across all of this, we will ship this. What I've told people to do, for example, like I do with the French keyword, if there was a specific keyword in that language or specific language, I would go with that first. But restricting, we don't support right now.
Got it. But yeah, I think um, if I don't know, yeah, but I think yeah, it's pretty tricky to create this because let's say if we ever insert doing a smart search about just things in Australia, it might show it from various countries, and limiting this like social communications by countries is very tough. It's not easy, because conversations are happening all around the world. I think it's that's what I think. It's tough to kind of um, tear it down like that. Let me just see more questions. Another thing was in this. Okay, I had some two good questions. I think let's just ask. It was from one of our members. They asks, can we put in a knowledge base of documentation as a
Correct.
link, and it will crawl the whole KB knowledge base in a source?
So right now we do the URLs, but crawling the entire thing is something we're going to add pretty soon. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Awesome. Cool.
Okay. Looks like we've got most of the questions out of the way.
Oh yeah, I mean there will be more coming in, but I think folks, we if you have more questions right now, put in. I know you want to see more of Rementions, UI UX, and great stuff. um, Once if you want to show anything which you think is hidden and it's not showcased right now, and you can do it. People would be if you think you missed out on something
I think I've
in
covered
this
pretty much the basics. The only thing I'd say is at any point in time, there'll always be questions, right? Just write me here. We try to reply as quickly as possible, so you can always access that right here, and you can send a message, and we'll take it on.
Okay, awesome. I think we're good. We're good.
Brilliant.
Um, Thank you so much.
All right.
And yeah, Rocketeers who stayed till the end, thank you for joining. Please go ahead and grab the deal from Rocket Hub. It's Rocket Week. So go ahead and give Hans a knock if you think you have questions. We already have an official Facebook group thread going on about Remention and other communities as well. We will see you with other group community members and Ohans, I think next week or next week, where they will be discussing about Remention. But this communication goes on. Great job, Ohans. Appreciate you coming today. And everyone enjoyed it. You took out time, and again, a great product. So yeah, thanks for your time. And
Excellent.
before we
Thanks.
before we go before we wrap up, Ohans, if you have anything to say to the Rocketeers who are watching the show right now,
Yeah.
what would be like your final 2 cents or
Um.
final closing
Yeah.
statements, closing remarks?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you. You know, when I first started having the chat with Charlie and Karen, I really didn't like LTDs. I thought it was a tricky thing to do, to be honest. But we had a good chat, and I realized the quality of feedback that you can get from an LTD user, and I think that's what's valuable to us right now. So I know money is important, but it's not all about the money we're going to make here. It's really about that feedback, that level of engagement. I had some people ask some really interesting questions on Facebook, so that's what we're looking for. And I just want to thank everyone who's been involved in that. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.
I think the first time I think I chatted with you was I think it's been like 1.5 years, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure I
It's
said
been
no.
so long, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, so awesome. We would now get Ohan's wrap up, and for Rocketeers who joined in, thank you so much. Ohans, it was great chatting with you. We would
Thank you
see
as well.
you
I appreciate
very,
it.
very soon.
Cheers.
All right. All right, everyone. Bye bye. See you. Cheers.